I'm Danny, and I'm the founder of GoFar. And GoFar is basically like a FitBit, but for your car. This is what the package looks like. There's three parts to the product. There's the mobile application. There's the display that sits on your car's dashboard and gives you real-time feedback. And then there's another little part that, with all the smarts in it, that plugs into your car's diagnostics ports. GoFar started out as a carbon reduction effort. The idea was that if we could measure carbon emissions and we could show people the emissions that they were making, that they would feel more obligated, or they would have more of a desire to do things like offsetting to clean up after themselves. But through that project, realised that the same car could have a 30% different fuel consumption just by the way it's driven. So there's potentially a big saving to be made on fuel consumption. As it turns out, an efficient driving style is also a safer driving style. So you're also less likely to get into a crash. And then there's insurance implications there. So connecting this thing with insurance discounts is something that we're really excited about. So we ran the GoFar Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign from May to June in 2015, and we managed to raise around 225,000 Australian dollars over a period of 4 weeks, and we sold our product to over 30 countries in the world. We pre-sold 1,300 of our devices. I definitely recommend crowdfunding for product businesses. It's a great tool for validating your idea, for refining your message, getting PR, and finally, for funding. The number one reason that we went down the crowdfunding road is for validation. So we did a lot of market research around the demand for the product that we were looking to build, but you don't know if they will pay for it until they actually do, right? So you need to give them a chance to pull their credit card out and give you money. The worst possible thing in the world is that you go to the trouble of developing a product and building on mass production, 1,000 units, and you can't sell them. So Kickstarter mitigates that risk. Towards the end, if you don't want to continue through the campaign for one reason or another, you can cancel it. What embarking on a crowdfunding campaign really forces you to do is to really be very specific about what it is that you're creating. One thing you really need to avoid is crowdfunding videos that are very broad in their promises. If you're not specific about what it is that you're selling, people will fill in the gaps with their own ideas, and ultimately they're going to be disappointed because you never meet their imagination. It's one of those difficult things that people in the early stages often struggle with, is just explaining their idea. So what you want to do to practice this is give yourself 60 seconds. In 60 seconds, you need to be able to explain what the idea is. You need to be able to explain to people why they would want to buy it, or if you're talking to investors, why they would want to invest, and how it works. If you can't get that into 60 seconds, you need to keep trying. Refine the message, practice on people. This is before you start shooting your Kickstarter video. When you're producing the video, you want to do many iterations. So just start with your phone, shoot a video, make it rough and raw. You'll learn something from it and iterate a lot of times. I mean, most Kickstarter campaigns, they will tell you that they've reshot their video 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So start small, shoot it on an iPhone first, watch it yourself, show it to other people, make sure that people understand what it is that you're selling and get the idea very clearly, and build from there. You need to talk to as many people as you can. Don't be afraid of people stealing it or taking your idea. It's such hard work to get something off the ground that you're the only one, if you're passionate about your idea, you're the only one that's really going to make it work. You need to have a PR plan that you start ahead of time, start reaching out to the journalists, the blogs in the particular area that you're in. For us, we got into Forbes magazine, we got into the Financial Review. In fact, Forbes magazine likened us to Tesla, which was awesome. They called us the poor man's Tesla, but I'll take that. We got voted one of the top 10 coolest things in the world in GQ magazine, which is a pretty special thing for a product in our category. And these things wouldn't have happened without that focus on PR that we had during that Kickstarter campaign. You need to plan to use the money from the crowdfunding campaign for production. Don't use it for R&D and development. So if you need to hire developers, you need to pay yourself a salary to get the idea off the ground, you need to find that money somewhere else. when you're producing the product, the first batch that you produce will be the most expensive. So what you want to do is get quotes on everything that you can when you're pricing out the product. Make sure you don't miss anything. So consider everything from insurance to packaging, every little detail of the production. All of these things need to be considered. Get quotes where you can, and then add a contingency, right? So you want to add something like 25% if you have firm quotes for most of the parts. Add 25% to your estimates, and then add another 5 or 10% for warranty returns, because they will happen. If it's early stages and you don't have a lot of firm quotes for a lot of the parts or components to your production, multiply it by 2. You need to err on the side of caution, which is one of the big mistakes that people make, is using the Kickstarter money for development purposes, and they find that they run out of money, and it's one of the key reasons why people don't deliver. So once you've successfully completed the crowdfunding campaign, well, it's really only the beginning. Now you've got to deliver the product. So one of the things that you must do is communicate regularly. We originally planned and promised to deliver our product in December of 2015. But we didn't actually deliver until April 2016. And we communicated regularly. The gold standard would be twice a month. Keep people updated at least once a month. Be upfront about what's going wrong. Share the wins as well as the setbacks. They're coming along for the journey. So as long as you keep people informed and up to date, they'll be happy. That's part of what they're really buying when they buy into your campaign. We were late on our delivery, but we kept people informed. We even offered refunds to certain groups of customers where we knew there would be a particularly long delay, like the Android group. We found that we were going to be a lot later than expected on delivering that Android app. And very few people took us up on that. When we shared the bad news and offered refunds, we had a lot of support and people were more engaged. So don't hide from sharing the bad news, because it'll only come back to bite you if you do communicate regularly. Happy customers are the best in advertising, because they'll tell their family, they'll tell their friends, and you really want to make sure that you have a lot of pleased customers, and especially Kickstarter backers. These people are early adopters. They're particularly vocal. So if they're happy, they're great. If you don't keep them happy, they can cause you a lot of stress. So communication is king. Be prepared for a lot of hard work when you embark on a startup. It's not easy. So you need to be very, very passionate about what it is that you're doing. If you're passionate about the idea and you're willing to put a lot of hours and a lot of effort in and go through a lot of pain, you can succeed.